Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us because today we are opening up something incredibly special. Imagine for a second having a top-secret manual that tells you exactly how to navigate all the trickiest parts of growing up. Well, guess what? We actually have one. Today's biblical text is basically a super-powered toolkit of wisdom straight from God. We're going to be exploring a truly fantastic section of the Bible, specifically Proverbs chapter 27, verses 11 through 20. And trust me on this one, what we're about to uncover is going to help you out in ways you might not even expect. So, did you know the Bible actually has a toolkit for dealing with annoying mornings, putting in the hard work, and finding truly great friends? It's completely true. Sometimes we might kind of think the biblical text only talks about stuff from a long time ago. But actually, God has given us incredibly practical instructions for our everyday lives, right here, right now. Whether you're dealing with a frustrating situation at school, trying to figure out who your absolute best friend should be, or just trying to survive doing your chores at home, God's wisdom toolkit has exactly what you need.
So, Section 1. Welcome to God's wisdom. Let's look at why this whole wisdom thing actually matters.
The very first tool in our kit is just understanding why we should even care about being wise. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 11 says, "Be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart." When we listen to him and actually use his wisdom, we're for sure protecting ourselves from making bad choices, right? But the absolute coolest part is that it brings pure, genuine joy to his heart. Just imagine that for a second. By making a smart choice on the playground or helping out at home without complaining, you are literally making God smile. He absolutely loves it when we use the toolkit he gave us.
Moving right along to Section 2, Avoiding Danger and Foolishness. Let's check out what Proverbs 27, verses 12 and 13 have to say.
The next tool in our kit is all about keeping our eyes peeled so we can stay out of trouble. Let's be real. Trouble is sometimes way too easy to stumble into if you aren't paying attention. But God's wisdom gives us this amazing kind of built-in radar to spot bad situations before they even happen. To use this wisdom radar, we need to understand a really important word from the biblical text, prudent. Now, it sounds like a big, fancy dictionary word, but it's actually super simple. Being prudent just means you're someone who thinks ahead and makes safe choices. A prudent kid is the one who stops and thinks, if I jump off the very top of these monkey bars, is that a smart choice or a super dangerous one? Prudent just means making those smart choices, whether you're out on the playground, hanging out in your neighborhood, or sitting right at your desk in school.
Picture this. On one hand, we have the prudent kid. When a prudent, wise kid sees trouble brewing, maybe some kids are starting to break the rules or say really mean things, they spot the danger from a mile away, and they just walk away. They take refuge. But then, on the other hand, we have the simple or the foolish kid. They see the exact same warning signs, but they completely ignore them. They just keep marching right into the mess, and unfortunately, they end up paying the penalty and getting into a whole lot of trouble.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is this very easy two-step plan for staying safe. Step 1, see danger. Keep those eyes wide open. Step 2, take refuge. Get out of there. Just turn around and walk away. And verse 13 drops another little piece of advice right after this. It warns us to be super careful about who we trust with our valuable stuff, especially if it's a stranger making all sorts of risky promises. It's all about paying attention and keeping yourself safe.
All right, Section 3, Annoying Habits to Avoid. We're looking at Proverbs 27, verses 14 through 16.
The biblical text uses a bit of humor here that is going to sound very familiar to anyone with a brother or sister. First up, yelling a blessing way too early in the morning. Imagine it's 5 a.m. You are fast asleep, having a great dream, and your sibling bursts in screaming, "Good morning, have a great day." Even though they're technically saying something nice, it feels like a curse because it's way too early and way too loud. Second, the biblical text compares someone who is always arguing and picking fights to a leaky roof that just keeps dripping and dripping in a rainstorm. Drip, drip, drip. It's so annoying and you literally can't make it stop. And third, trying to stop someone from arguing is like trying to grab slippery oil with your bare hands. It just slips right through your fingers. God is basically telling us here, guys, don't be that leaky roof. Use wisdom to be peaceful, kind, and considerate of the people around you.
That brings us to Section 4, True Friends and Hard Work, in Proverbs 27, verses 17 and 18.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about what to avoid, but how do we build really great things in our lives? I have a mini mystery question for you. How do you sharpen a friend? I mean, you can sharpen a pencil, sure, but how in the world do you sharpen a person?
The answer is actually found in one of the most famous verses in the Bible, Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Think about playing a sport or a video game. If you only ever play against someone who has absolutely no idea how to play, you aren't going to get much better, right? But if you practice with someone who challenges you, you improve. It's the exact same with our friends. Good friends challenge each other to grow in wisdom. They encourage you to do the right thing, they help you out when you're feeling down, and they honestly make you a sharper, better person just by being around them.
And a huge part of being a sharp, wise person is working hard. Verse 18 tells us that the one who guards a fig tree will eat the fruit. Now, I know you probably don't have a literal fig tree sitting in your backyard to guard, but what this means is that when you work hard and actually protect what you are responsible for, like doing your chores really well, finishing your homework, or taking awesome care of your pet, you will be rewarded. When you put in the hard work, you get to enjoy the good results, and you will be honored for your effort. Finally, Section 5. What does your heart show? Let's check out Proverbs 27, verses 19 and 20.
We've talked a whole lot about the things we do on the outside, but we really need to look closely at the inside. If you look down into a perfectly still puddle of water, what do you see? You see your own face reflecting right back at you. Well, verse 19 tells us that just like water reflects the face, your life reflects your heart. The way you treat others every single day perfectly shows what is bouncing around inside your heart. If your heart is full of God's wisdom, love, and kindness, that is exactly what your life is going to show to the people around you.
But we have to be super careful, because verse 20 gives us one final massive warning. It says that human eyes are never satisfied. Have you ever begged and begged for a brand new toy or a video game, and the very second you finally got it, you immediately started looking at a totally different toy that you wanted instead? Yeah, we've all been there. That's what this means. It is so easy to just constantly want the next new thing without ever stopping to appreciate what we already have. So, I want to leave you with this big question to think about today. Are you truly thankful for what you have right now, or are your eyes always looking around for more? God's Wisdom Toolkit teaches us that true, lasting joy doesn't come from just getting more stuff. It comes from being content, being a truly great friend, working hard, staying far away from foolish trouble, and letting a wise heart reflect a beautiful life. I highly encourage you to use God's wisdom to make some really great choices this week. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. And hey, keep using that toolkit.